Hello there!
Kyle Katarn here. Today I'm joined by my buddy Bendu
In the middle.
and Hera.
And happy holidays to you guys, Force friends. So we're here to finally review Star Wars The Last Jedi. It did take us a little bit of time because, you know, I didn't want to immediately jump into a review just in case of anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but you've had a week. So this is going to be a spoilers episode.
If you have not seen the movie, get out now. Do not watch this video. We're going to spoil the living daylights out of this movie.
Overall opinions.
So I liked it. I really, really liked it. But at the time that I was watching it, I could already tell this is going to be a polarizing movie. This is going to be very divisive, and fans are either going to love it or they're going to absolutely hate it. But that was kind of the way it was with The Force Awakens, but there's going to be even less middle ground in this one. Rian Johnson, I applaud him. He made some bold choices. Bold choices in this movie. Yeah, the opening scene was badass. It definitely, like, how much time do you think there was between the end of the last movie and this? I think it was pretty much instantaneous.
Yeah,
like 2 hours at the
started
most.
Well, now-
away.
Yeah, I'm trying to
wasn't
remember.
Sure. I thought there was some time between when that happened and when Rey left in the last video. I thought there was some time passed, but
Well, we do see Finn in the Baka tank. Which I believe was in a starship. They were off planet at that.
Yeah, they were on the
at,
Redis.
at
Yep.
the end of Force Awakens. So which makes me think, because of the fact that in The Last Jedi, Poe and Rey first introduced themselves, like they never introduced themselves at all.
They've heard of each other, but
They've
they've
heard
never
of each
met.
other. So which makes me think at the very end of Force Awakens, could leave a whole lot of conversation time for Poe and Rey to meet, I guess, theoretically.
Both there's a single moment in both movies, and that's her handing him the lightsaber. That's the end of 7.
Of Rey handing the lightsaber.
To Luke
Yeah.
on the island.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
see that again in 8. You see her hand the
Yeah.
You
lightsaber
see
again.
that again,
Which is
yeah.
after the evacuation scene.
Yes.
So I'm thinking they're all out there on the tarmac, they're waving goodbye
Yeah.
to the Falcon. As soon
Yeah.
as they pull up, they're like, alright, let's go, evacuate the base.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
And that's the beginning of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours max.
Yeah, that's why Finn's in the Baka tank and shit.
Right, because they've already got him loaded up.
Yeah.
So
Dude, Kylo was slashed and he was fine.
I know,
He
you
got
got
slashed
that
in the
too.
face.
the
That was
little
cool
droid,
with
the little
the
droid that was
little-
working
yeah.
on him.
With
Ooh,
the,
the
like,
Scar
face
droid?
stitches.
Yeah.
the face
Reminded me of
stitches.
Iden's
Very
droid from
kind
Battlefront
of
2, her little ID-10.
Oh, is that
It
right?
fits onto her back. It kind of looked like that. With like just
A
different
little bit.
appendages.
I thought it
Well,
kind of
yeah,
looked
I like the.
It's true. I thought it looked like oh god, I want to keep calling him the wrong numbers, but BB9E.
Darth BB-8.
Yeah,
Darth BB-8.
I thought it looked like a
BB-8.
BB9. I thought it looked like a BB9E's head, but just like, you know, with the spider legs.
It
on
kinda
You
it.
did.
actually get that good
Yeah.
one.
But that's
I
what
didn't-
the ID-10 kind of looks like that too.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but it was definitely, yeah, it was interesting making artificial tissue like that. You know, because we've usually, the only medical droids we've seen are like the free-forming, you know, torso, like
Right,
weird
right.
apparatus face, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
droid.
30 years in the future, so it
Yeah.
makes sense that tech would advance and be a little bit more mobile like that.
Yeah, I guess it's tissue. It's just scar tissue. Yes.
The movie, there was a lot of humor, more so than I expected, and some of it like really played off really well, but it was almost too much at some points.
Yeah.
There were some moments that I could have stood to be a bit more serious.
Well, I mean, demographics, man. Everyone said that when Episode 1 came out, and the entire people who are against Jar Jar.
Don't
Like,
get me
you know,
wrong,
it's
I don't
never
think
got-
that Star Wars is a
gotta
somber,
get
solemn thing. I think
Yeah.
that it's goofy and silly, and
I
there's
was
plenty
gonna
of
say,
room
it's
for
true to
humor.
There was a lot of
Or to the
serious.
There's been a lot of humor in all the previous movies. It's just that it all was so much more situational, contextual, just like Han Solo being a smartass while they're in danger, stuff like that. And in this movie, you have like straight up slapstick, like
Yeah.
Hux being thrown across the floor and spun
Yeah,
around
that
like a
was
little
kind of
rag
like
doll.
Well,
That was
what
almost too
interesting-
much,
Okay,
you know?
so here's my opinion about that. Because that happened twice, actually.
3 times.
3 times.
So-
Yeah.
So, Hux, I don't know. He's starting.
He was there for comic relief.
To some aspect, I don't know. From when I was watching it, the look on his face, he didn't want Kylo. He doesn't acknowledge Kylo Ren to be the supreme
Yeah,
leader.
not at all.
The
You almost
only
killed him.
reason, the only reason why he acknowledges Kylo to be supreme leader is because he's a Force wielder.
Yeah.
So there's
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
in General
so
Hux that's really growing in time, that he's gonna have this insatiable hatred towards Force wielders.
He
No
already
matter
has
who
it
they
towards
are.
Kylo Ren.
He's gonna
Yeah.
resent anyone who uses the
Never liked
Force.
that.
So like, there's something, you know, potentially dark and deep that's like, you know, like the abused child.
I mean-
almost within Hux. Granted, I still laugh at the meme of General Hux. You mean General sucks? Like that's the greatest meme ever. Like it's still fucking hilarious.
General Hux's dad
Right.
was Brendel Hux, and
Well,
he wasn't actually abusive. Apparently, by all
Well, no, I mean,
by all accounts in the books, he actually raised him pretty well. He just raised him very strictly to become like a rigid military
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't like abusive to him. Or he like Hux didn't really suffer any more than anyone
no,
else
but
in
I
the
mean,
First
Yeah.
Order
no,
kind
no,
of
no, no,
suffered.
no. I'm
But-
saying Force
Definitely
wielders are
see
abusing.
Hux again.
Oh yeah, well absolutely.
I'm
Force
saying
wielders are
Force
totally
wielders
abusing
are
him. Yes,
That's
yes.
why I'm saying the resentment. I'm saying that's where I'm saying the abuse.
Well, at the very
abused
end of the
child
movie,
syndrome.
the very end of the movie, when the illusion has been seen and like they're rushing to the base, but the rebels are already gone.
Yeah.
Like Kylo picks up the dice and he looks at them, and Hux
And then he
shoots
disappears.
this fucking death glare at Kylo. Like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is your
Your
fault.
fault.
Yeah.
You let
did
them
this,
get away,
yeah.
and there was more than that. It was like, this is the last time.
And you let
This is the last time I'm
Yeah.
gonna
let
let you
Supreme
do
Leader
this.
die. And you
So-
straight up let
And
Supreme
you
Leader die.
Supreme Leader
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
Supreme Leader
So
die.
he thinks Rey did it. Because that's what
I
Kylo
don't-
said.
Does
Well-
he believe him?
I don't
Hux doesn't
know.
believe him.
I don't know.
I think
Hux
That's
thinks
what Kylo said.
I think Hux believes that Ren killed Snoke.
Mhm.
That Kylo Ren killed Snoke himself.
I think Hux believes that Kylo didn't stop Ren
Yeah,
from doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
You know, I don't think that Kylo, he thinks Kylo did it.
but that
just
he probably
yet.
could have stopped it and he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's more on what Hux's brain frame is
Maybe.
on.
Hux is definitely not, like, he's definitely only serving himself.
Self-serving,
and, like,
yeah.
and doesn't really see the whole picture.
Well, no,
and-
Well,
I don't think
he's
he
serving.
does.
He's serving the little picture. He's serving the First Order. He's doing his job.
That's true. It's
Which,
true.
yeah,
His job.
he's serving the First Order within the
Yeah.
context of his own, influence in that, like however it affects him, it's how he's
Well, I
feeling
mean,
it.
he's pretty at the top. He
I know, yeah.
reports like there's no really higher position than what he has. There's nothing more that he can really gain.
Yeah.
So he's just serving the Empire.
Let's talk about the Porgs.
The Porgs
The Porgs.
and
Oh, porgs.
all of the animals, for example,
Yeah, yeah.
were
How many space animals can you think of that you saw? Let's list them.
Okay, so we got Porgs. We've got the racehorse creatures, the Faultiers.
vultures.
And we've got
Um,
that sea creature on the island that Luke is at.
Yep.
When we see.
There's also a skeleton of another creature in the cave
Yeah,
area.
the
that she
Crocodile
goes
looking
to.
thing.
Yep, exactly.
Or like that huge fish that Luke catches with the big
The
spear.
He spears it.
Yeah,
That was an awesome
yeah,
scene, by
yeah.
the way.
And we also got to see the Luke's ship in the water. That was pretty cool.
There's
Not
also
a sea creature, but
His,
sort of
his crashed X-wing.
There's also
yeah, the X-wing. Yeah.
the Mara Jade, giraffe cameo
Oh
with
my
the 4 tits.
God! How
That
did we
was
not
pretty-
start with that one?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a giraffe. It had.
He keeps
It
having
It was like
yeah.
a naked mole rat giraffe
No,
thing.
dude. It had. Oh God, what's the word? Flippers.
The
it
word
was-
is
it was-
breasts.
No, dude. It was an aquatic. It was an aquatic thing. It was like a sea lion.
Do
That
you
that
think
creature.
It, swam? If it, was
It had
They had
a
blowholes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, it was totally an
It
aquatic
looked like
creature.
it. Okay.
No, it was like a sea lion kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was an.
Can you milk a sea lion? Are they mammals? They're mammals,
I
right?
don't know.
Yeah.
Their babies
Well-
probably feed off of them that way.
Humans can't. Anyway,
Luke really
Anyway.
aggressively drank that milk too. He was like,
it was because.
And then how
Like-
Ray looked away. Oh
That was
man.
the one,
yeah.
Ray was like, oh, this is
He
a
was-
private moment.
He was trying. No, he was trying to deter Rey away. He was trying to prove a point. But to answer your original question about the creatures, yeah, I think that it was an incredible account of how we need to go less CGI and go more back into actual puppetry
Yeah.
and actual animatronics, because you were
Absolutely.
able to tell the difference
absolutely.
of substance between the creatures. Like in the original leaked photos of Finn on top of the racehorse creature.
Right,
things,
I remember
Yeah.
those.
like you were actually able to see the thing versus, just
As
like,
an actor, that's got to make the job so much easier.
yeah,
Easier,
versus
yeah.
You're not
versus,
emoting
like,
to a ping pong ball.
Uh-huh,
You've actually
yeah,
got
there's
this
a
thing in
face,
front
yeah.
of you.
or like a green pommel horse. Yeah, you
Yep.
just like or a green mass that you're like sitting on. Like it makes such more of a difference as an
Mhm,
actor and
yeah.
just like
That made
visually
a significant
film wise to
difference,
see.
yeah.
Like The porgs were actual animalmatronics.
Yeah.
The crystal foxes, for the most part, were actual
That's
animalmatronics,
right,
and they were
yeah.
gorgeous.
Super shout out to Neil Scanlon.
Yeah.
Yes, amazing creatures.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars.
So, and what was really cool is because that kind of reverberated into this last half season of Rebels, because there was such an accumulation of little Star Wars creatures and
Totally.
animals.
There's a
with
lot
all
of
the-
nature
Yeah.
interaction.
Yeah, the
A lot of
lone
that.
cats and the lone wolves, and it was so much
Yeah.
of a nature interaction.
Yeah, the
which this movie really, continued on with.
absolutely. Poe and the Resistance following the Crystal Foxes to find their way
Yeah, it
out
was
of
very
the
Ezra.
mighty. It was absolutely something
Yeah.
Ezra and Kanan would do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that the first time I watched it.
Yeah. So, I mean, which was great because I was slightly on that fan page of wanting something more concrete in relevance to like a Rebels reference. Like, are we gonna get to see the Ghost again? Are we gonna get to see Hera?
Yeah.
You know, is this gonna be something
Little
like super
cameos.
bold? Yeah,
Yeah.
but we didn't.
Yeah,
But what we
true.
got was metaphorical references, like with the animals and the creatures, which I thought was like really subtle and really really
Well, that's a tribute.
force
Yeah.
into
There were a lot of really cool Easter eggs in this. Like
Yeah.
we saw a lot of kyber crystals in this
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Like Snoke had the black one
On his ring.
on his
Oh,
Right?
that's what. Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Um,
Okay.
and
In
then
Luke's
Right.
house,
and
he has a red kyber crystal on a
You
necklace
know-
hanging up.
you
Totally
know-
Vader's. That's
Yeah.
totally Vader's.
Yeah, it has to be.
You see,
I mean, I saw the one when they saw the lightsaber
you
broken
see
at the
the
end.
Anakin saber.
It
Yeah.
seemed like it
The
it
Excalibur.
seemed like it was
The
like
Excalibur
on a
saber.
necklace
Yeah.
form almost.
I
The
didn't
red,
see
the
any
red
of
crystal.
ones.
It was complete. It was totally on a necklace
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
just wasn't wearing at the time. We also saw the little blue compass from Battlefront 2 in an appearance was sitting on his dresser.
Oh. On Luke?
Oh, that's
In
yes.
his little hut on Ahch-To, yeah.
yeah.
And that
Which-
shot it panned
which
over his belongings.
potentially-
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Which I believe potentially helped him find.
I think that's
the
how he
planet-
found the island.
the
That's how he got there in the
planet
first
slash
place.
island. Yeah, that was
I
the
think so.
the
Oh,
importance
creatures.
of-
How about the caretakers?
The
Oh,
caretakers,
the little nuns.
Yeah.
They were
They had-
totally.
they had a rough
totally
go of it,
Celtic.
man. They had a rough go of it.
Yeah,
in
they
this
didn't
movie.
like Ray.
I know, right?
Fucking
She was like not even apologetic either.
She didn't care.
Yeah,
she
she was
was-
not.
She's
not at all.
racist.
Ha.
Oh, for them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, they were interesting little caretakers
Yeah.
slash little. Definitely, they were definitely like. Well, I mean, Luke even said that they were caretakers of the islands. That they
Yeah.
helped refurbish and
They've been
hold
keeping up the Jedi Temple for
Yeah,
thousands
Jedi
of years.
Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really
Yeah.
kind of kept them in touch with the fact that they were filming something on an Irish island.
Speaking
a
of
very old Irish.
Speaking of the old
Celtic
Irish
place.
island of Skellig Michael where they filmed it, the reason that they got the porgs is apparently because the island was just infested with puppets.
I
And
was
they were
just-
just everywhere, and they
like,
couldn't get them out of the
I
shots.
don't, I don't understand how these guys fly. Like
I thought that was weird
I'm
too.
still thinking about it. Like physics-wise, their wings are way too small. Like I don't understand the
They're-
physics
yeah,
of how the
yeah.
hell they were.
Maybe they
That's
have
right,
maybe
yeah.
they have really, really, really strong fucking winds on the planet around the island, and
Okay.
they actually are
Gravity,
more
They
like
fly.
gravity's different.
They can
I mean,
fly.
the birds have hollow bones too,
That's
so
true.
maybe they have hollow bones. I don't
The
know.
I really
They look like
loved Chewbacca's little vegetarian.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
just like that was too perfect. I think they
I
just,
think he
kinda
ate
had
it
to
later.
limit.
I think he ate it off camera.
Especially the
I think
crying,
they did
whimpering
too.
one.
Yeah,
The
the
crying
one
whimp,
was so
like
sad.
Little
it
fat
He
guy.
just shooed them away. He was just like, go,
He
and they're
tried
like,
to.
woo.
So speaking of island hijinks, before we talk about the rest of the movie, seeing Yoda again, Master Yoda.
Again,
Oh,
another
man,
good
so
example
great.
why we need puppets,
yeah.
and not CGI.
It was
Continue.
Original puppets. I mean,
seeing
that was
Puppet
great.
Yoda just welled up so
Frank
many
Oz,
feelings.
yeah.
It
That
brought
was
so many feelings to the
so
surface
great.
for me that I hadn't felt since I was a kid watching The Empire Strikes Back and being just
Yeah.
blown away by like
True.
this little green dude is so cool, he's so wise, he's awesome.
And
And
I
I-
trained everyone.
Before I'd watched the Clone Wars, before I had a profound respect for Frank Oz as a voice actor and a puppeteer, he was just some cool little green dude. And all of that fell away, and to me watching the movie, he was just this cool green dude, and I was just having this experience again,
Yeah.
and it was really special.
I do really appreciate that they did just keep it at Ghost Yoda, that they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't show
They
Anakin
They
or...
didn't, yeah, they
Yeah,
didn't
Obi-Wan or
continue
anything.
or try
I
to
was
have,
really
like,
worried we might get like a Rogue One Tarkin kind of Alec Guinness, and I was like, that's bad.
No,
Oh.
no. If anything, what I was more worried about, well, I mean, I don't think they would have gone the Alec Guinness, try to make a force hallucination thing, but what I was more afraid of was like them making like Hayden Christensen ghost or a Ewan McGregor ghost.
We're gonna get a
But,
Hayden
like-
ghost. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna-
It's gonna happen at 9. We're gonna get it.
No.
Okay.
I think Kylo's gonna talk to
But,
him.
When we get old enough, you can look at it.
Yeah, Force Ghost wise, I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up. Something that we did talk about earlier. The fact that by the end of The Last Jedi, Luke only taught Rey 2 of her 3 lessons.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, you know, with the emphasis on Force Ghosts and Yoda saying, you know, the purpose of a master is for have your apprentice surpass you. You know, like there potentially is some future Force Ghost stuff there to
we
get
have-
that
Oh,
third
I'm
lesson.
sorry.
We have
So we'll
not
see.
seen the
We'll
last
see.
of Mark Hamill in Star Wars. Mark my words. He will be a 9 in some capacity. I'm not 100% convinced that he's dead, and I'm going to get a bunch of people in the comments here saying, are you fucking crazy? Did you watch the same movie I did? But bear with me here. So, what if instead of becoming one with the Force in the moment of death, he kind of pulled a Goku and just like transcended and became like this next level being who can manifest himself through the Force anywhere he wants, whenever he wants. Kind of like Yoda, but Yoda's also shimmery and blue and can't really. I mean, he hit Luke on the forehead, but he can't interact with. It's true. It's true. He has powers, but he's not. I don't see him being able to go anywhere he wants.
Well, no.
Okay, alright.
I feel like he's restricted to places strong in the Force.
Oh, okay,
You know?
okay. Infiltrate.
Luke projected himself to Crait, and even though the effort like completely wiped him out and he became one with the Force, I don't think that he's dead in the traditional sense, and that we're gonna see a lot more Luke. Absolutely.
What about like the messaging in this movie?
What do you mean the
Last Jedi?
messaging?
Well, what sort of messaging did you interpret?
I think that the main theme of the movie that I got out of it was failure, and that.
it-
What
Well,
about failure?
Well, mostly that, like, you know, even the best of intentions can lead to doing greater harm. Like Poe Dameron, for example, he was trying to help. He didn't think that his admiral was competent, and he was trying to take things upon himself to go and make the situation better. And it turns out he was wrong. So he was right.
Multiple times over.
Short-sighted.
Yeah, he was wrong. And not only that, he got members of the Resistance killed. He got all the
Many,
bombers killed.
almost the whole
He got all of the transports killed
All
because
the
by
bombers.
sending Finn and Rose off to Canto Bight with that intel,
Yep. Just not about
It was overheard by DJ. he used it to buy his freedom when they were caught on the destroyer. If Poe had just like respected the vice fucking admiral saying, hey, I don't feel like sharing the plan with you, which is her right as a vice admiral, by the way. See, that's the problem with paramilitaries. You got the New Republic and then you got the Resistance. It's not an official military. There's not enough respect for the command structure. You know?
So
Follow your
actually,
fucking orders.
so question then, since you've thoroughly gone through the Battlefront 2 storyline, so was a majority of the rebellion destroyed during Project Cinder? Like, was the majority of the rebellion destroyed on those planets, and that's what has created the divergence between like the Resistance?
So check it out. So I'll go and I'll give you the very brief version of this because the answer to this spans like 4 different novels and 2 different games. But so you've got the rebels are fighting the Empire. They're getting a bigger force, and eventually they have this galaxy-spanning army which they use to win the war.
Yeah.
Then they decide, okay, now we've supplanted the government, we're going to found the new Resistance. But because everyone is so wary of the problems with the Old Republic and the Galactic Empire, they're like, we're going to scale it down massively, and they scuttle all their ships. And so the New Republic's military is like a 10th the size of the Rebel Alliance. And it's like, it's like a fraction of the size of the Empire ever was. Because there's this huge push for demilitarization of the government, because we're in a time of peace now, we don't need all those warships, we want to go back to governing and being peaceful again. And so there's a lot of time, and all the time while they're doing this and while they're disarming, the First Order is forming in the Outer Rim. Beyond the Outer Rim in the Unknown Regions, getting ready to show back up. By the time the First Order shows up and Leia's like, oh my god, these guys are a threat, the New Republic's like, no, they're not, don't worry about it, we don't want to have a military. And the New Republic refuses to act on it. And they're in like a Cold War kind of thing. The First Order versus the New Republic are in kind of a Cold War where they're not actually fighting each other. And Leia says that's not enough for her. So she forms the Resistance, which acts outside of the New Republic because the New Republic would never authorize that.
Oh.
And so that's why we have this paramilitary organization, because the New Republic officially doesn't recognize the First Order as like a threat or even as a formal organization.
Where's the New Republic in The Last Jedi?
They're fucking destroyed.
Yeah,
in,
blown up.
in Episode 7. Star Killer Base destroys all of the capital planets
Right.
and takes out the fleet with them.
So it shows
Yep.
This is the first
It takes
order.
the-
That's what I
And
thought.
that's
Yeah,
why
man.
we
Maybe
haven't
too
seen.
fast to have
That's
the
why we've
next
never seen Holdo up until now. Is because she wasn't with the Resistance.
Yeah.
She was with the New Republic military off where their fleet was.
Oh.
That's where
Now
a
that
lot
most
of,
of that has been destroyed.
yeah, that's where a lot of her prestige.
There's really-
Gotcha.
There's
Okay,
really
that's what
nothing
she-
standing in the
that's
way of
her
the First Order now.
reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
So she joins the
Gotcha.
Resistance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, by the
Boy,
end of
that
The Last
man.
Jedi,
Boy.
there's like 24 people in the Resistance, and they can all fit on the goddamn Falcon.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go but up from here. But still,
Where do they
it's-
go?
Wherever. I mean, we won't find out till the
We
next
don't know.
movie.
That's true.
So there's this title, okay, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
When Rey goes to see Luke, he asks her about, like, what do you know about the Force? And it's actually pretty funny. She gives this really, like, stupid remark about, just how little she knows
About
about the
moving
Force.
rocks.
Yeah. It's this power that you can use against people to control people and make things float.
Because that's all she's. Because
That's
all
it.
she's
That's all
seen.
she
Right.
knows. And then we see these Jedi texts, these sacred Jedi texts, and then
But we never get to see. what they
then
say.
Luke talks about how the Jedi have to end, a little bit before he knows who Rey is,
Right.
and then he's teaching her the lessons about the Force and the Jedi teachings, and he
And
tells her all about
vanity.
how he was teaching Kylo. And then at the end, he wants to destroy them. He destroyed this Jedi text, but he's not able to, and so Yoda does.
Yeah, he hesitates.
And all
Yoda
that,
doesn't for him.
so yada yada yada. And then
With that
when- and then when-
thunderbolt, man, Yoda was.
And then when
Thunderbolt.
Kylo and him are confronting each other, and Kylo's going on about how I'm gonna defeat you. War's gonna be over. The resistance should be
Straight
over,
Bendu power.
and I'm gonna kill the last of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And Luke goes, everything you say is false, or
Yeah.
everything you say is wrong.
Yeah.
I thought this was the last Jedi. So
I think he's
what does that mean? So are the Jedi over, or and then
no.
there's that
The
boy
Jedi
at
are
the
not
end,
over.
So
The
please
vanity.
speak about that.
In my opinion, I don't think Luke's opinion has changed. I still think he blames the Jedi for a lot of the problems in the galaxy, and he still thinks the Jedi should end. But I think he's finally had the serenity to accept that it's not up to him whether or not the Jedi can end. And that's what Yoda was touching on when he said, like, we will be surpassed. That is our role as masters.
Yeah.
We are that which they
We are
rise
the-
above.
Yeah.
It's time for you. It's time for Rey to rise above you and become the next Jedi. And
Yeah, and that she already knows more than the books could ever teach her and things
Yeah.
like that. And
yeah, that was a total troll because I didn't notice this on my first rewatch. It wasn't until the second viewing action that I noticed that Rey had taken the books and put them on the Falcon. And when Yoda burns down the tree, and Luke was like, "Those are the sacred Jedi
yeah, but
texts."
he tries to go back in too.
He tries to save them, and Yoda says, "There's nothing in that tree that Rey does not already possess."
You're right. Not no, but possess.
He's a troll. He was totally
You're
trolling.
right, because he knew it. He's all.
But yeah, I think that Luke wanted the Jedi to end, and he earnestly believed that. But by the end of the movie, he still wanted the Jedi to end. But he
it
knew that
wasn't
there
up
was
to
a greater
him.
purpose, and
Yeah.
it wasn't up to him.
He's not
Exactly.
a Jedi.
And I don't think Luke Skywalker even ended. Like I said, I think we're going to be seeing more.
Just how can the Order of the Jedi? I guess because Rey has the books, so.
Who is Snoke, Bendu?
Well, I mean, so for there were a couple of hot seconds where I thought maybe, leading up to Luke having the astral projection moment, there was a couple of seconds where I thought maybe Snoke was some sort of like Force ghost of Palpatine, purely for the fact that we never saw him use any sort of saber play whatsoever.
Huh.
The only thing he really did was Force manipulative action.
It did like a lightning blast at Kylo
Yeah,
threw him across the room.
he sparked the floor with, so he had to. He didn't even directly affect
Controlled house
Kylo.
through the-
He did,
But he
through,
needed
through great
the
distance.
connection. But he needed a connection, that mental link of the Supreme Leader.
How do you think that
Like,
compares to Vader? Because
that-
Vader did
that
the same thing when he
connection
choked out Admiral Ozzel in
Exactly.
the orbit of Hoth from his ship to his ship. He
Exactly.
talked to him on the screen and he choked him out
Exactly.
with his mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he needed that
Same
third.
kind of thing.
He needed that screen. He needed
Okay.
that.
He needs some
that
sort of
phone.
a visual reference to know what
Exactly,
he's doing with
exactly.
his so he can reach out with his feelings. He has to visualize.
Exactly, that's true. But there was a couple of seconds, where I thought he was Palpatine because, he only purely used, Force powers throughout the thing. And there were, very specific word choices that he used to empower Kylo and to just fucking demote him, just to beat him down, like get that ridiculous thing off your face, you child.
Take that ridiculous thing
You're just a child in a mask. Like that was fucking perfect. It was great things to say.
His overconfidence was his weakness, just like the Emperor.
Just like Ray said. Yeah, no, that was perfect. Is he dead? I don't know. Probably.
He's straight up. He's totally dead.
Like I think the idea. Yeah, it's true. Tongue out and everything. Yeah, no. I think the idea of Supreme Leader Snoke is what the larger metaphor was, because
you think it's kind of a Dread Pirate Roberts kind of thing?
Because his influence of the Force was very obvious. He was able to do very incredible things with the Force, but that was it. You took that away, he couldn't defend himself. That's what the whole Praetorian Guard was for.
I think he was a small-time Force user that kind of just stepped into the power vacuum.
And just was able to
just waited for Palpatine to die. Maybe maybe an Inquisitor who had deserted or something like that.
I agree with that. If Snoke, if Snoke was a former Inquisitor, I would agree.
I've been in the dark about who Snoke is and where he came from.
But
how he came to influence Kylo, that was a big mystery to me. But
the Praetorian Guard,
dude, they were on point.
Oh,
that fight scene,
they were on point.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
All the different kinds of weapons they had.
Yeah, and armor.
The guy with the chain whip who caught the saber and then he was just going from arm to arm, pulling Rey closer.
Yeah. They never said it out loud whether or not it was the metal Cortosis or not, which was would have been a Dark Horse comics reference.
I don't think they're going to canonize Cortosis, but they're going to have some sort of a sideways parallel thing that's the same.
It was definitely some sort of saber sword resistant alloy.
They were straight up bladed. They were bladed metal weapons, but they had the coating of energy.
Yeah, all of their weapons were they were like an extremely updated version of the Plasma Guard Electro staffs that we saw.
The Magna Guards.
Yeah,
the one who had the two-piece and split it.
And he cut them up.
The two Kukri knives. Yeah, but that was an excellent example, because if you were to look closely at the blades, they had the little blow torches almost in front of it, or the little electro spark thingies in front of it, which would let it deflect the lightsaber, but it still had the steel vibro blade metal of the sword to cut through armor or a regular person or whatever it needed.
Yeah, I really liked. I thought it was kind of interesting that Snoke had a giant garbage disposal on his floor, just no railings.
Oh yeah, the giant shredder.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was great. Everyone needs an air purifier. Everyone needs.
Well, all the red curtains on the walls. I know that's a tribute to.
The curtains was really cool. It looked like a Ralph McQuarrie painting. Just the room, just red, blood red on the walls. If you're like a demagogue in charge of a bunch of stuff and you've got powers and you're wearing a gold pimp robe and I'd spend time in that room.
My theory.
The steel box of a chair.
It's true. My
there were these two guys in black cloaks and they had blue light eyes.
And they were sort of by the big viewport thing.
Yeah, but we never saw them in the scene when Kylo and Rey were fighting.
No, they got the hell. They were smart. They
got
the hell out.
No, my only theory on the red drapes was that if you are the supreme leader of your dreadnought ship, defense-wise, it would make sense for you to have your main throne room, protected. That way, any outside spaceship wouldn't be able to be like, that's the throne room. Yeah. Let's attack there.
Right, you can see the throne with a big ass window.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
That's why I had the magnifying glass.
In terms of the fight pacing and choreography, the fact that all of the flames in the room started with the curtains, started with that one chain whip getting thrown onto it, and then every successive shot there were more embers coming down from the ceiling until eventually they revealed the larger battle around them. And it showed, and that was kind of represented how they were so wrapped up in themselves. There was nothing existed in the universe except for them and Snoke. And then once it was dealt with, they remembered, oh wait, we have friends. There's the fleets out there. They're in trouble. All this stuff.
That moment when Rey and Finn almost cross paths and Rey's going up the elevator and Finn's being captured by Phasma and stuff like that. That's almost super close for them to realize that there's a whole other battle going on here.
There were so many simultaneous.
They miss it,
and that's one of the.
And then it doesn't show up until the.
That's one of the great things that Star Wars is good at doing, is that having these simultaneous plot lines that all intersect for the finale, for the climax. Good story writing.
we get to listen to more amazing John Williams music.
It's true.
So
The music is excellent in this.
Yeah, there are so many music layers that he used from other films like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, for example.
A lot of old themes
that he was able to infuse composurely. That it's just like, you know, that is music. That is music. And so we're going to talk about a lot of stuff about...
Music's always been one of the strongest points. John Williams has just been like, he's knocked it out of the park every single movie, consistently. There wasn't a whole lot of new music in this, actually.
No, but revamped music.
There was a new theme during the chase on Canto Bight, during the casino chase. But other than that, it was mostly old classic tunes coming back up.
It was really great, though. I mean, they brought back the, Leia's theme and the...
Yoda's theme.
Bringing back Leia's theme was very emotional because they did it in the the ultimate moment when Leia and Luke finally see each other. And you hear Leia's theme, and then when he hands her the dice, you get Han and Leia's theme.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't sure.
The dice, we're going to touch base on.
It was like a transition.
That was very good.
Yeah, definitely.
So the Battle of Crait, I thought it was pretty hilarious that they took the time to have a guy like touch it and be like, "This is not snow. This is salt. This is different."
It was a cool little like solidifying detail.
Did you guys notice Gareth Edwards, the Rogue One director, was standing right next to the guy who said, "This is salt." He was the one in the trench.
A little bit, yeah. There were quite a few.
That was Gareth Edwards.
There were quite a few character references.
Apparently, Prince William and Prince Harry were cut. They actually didn't make it to the final thing, and Tom Hardy was also cut.
The Tom Hardy one, I did hear that.
I heard there were excuses for it not. Yeah.
The princess thing, I thought they just went. I thought they just went to the set. I thought the two princes.
No, apparently they had. They fully cameoed. They were on
Yeah.
camera and everything. They're probably like stormtroopers or something. But there are going to be over 20 minutes of deleted scenes for this movie, so maybe.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Looking forward to that.
Um,
I'm wondering how much it'll change.
Yeah.
What about the ski speeders? They were like falling apart. Poe's foot goes right through it.
That was so funny. What the hell?
I mean, it kind of something that you touched on earlier about how it was part of it was very humorous and part of it was very dramatic. Like this really shitty speeders kind of, I don't know, like it made it more of a wartime film. It did definitely remind you of like they have no shields.
Yeah.
They maybe have a rocket propelled grenade on this like little rickety shit that Poe's foot falling through. You know, and they're going against blaster bolts from these gorilla walkers. So you know, it kind of put a little bit of like realness of like they're dead. That person, they're gone.
Speaking of no fucking shields, what about those bombers from the beginning that go at like 5 miles an hour, have no shielding whatsoever, and if you just look at the bombing department wrong, the whole thing explodes.
Yeah, who designed that? Like,
what happened to the Y-Wings? Where are all the Y-Wings at? Those things are sturdy as fuck.
Well, I get them from those arms dealers that DJ was showing us about.
Yeah.
They didn't see a picture of it.
Well, if they did, they got ripped off because those bombers sucked.
Yeah, they were really, counterintuitive.
Well,
I mean, Paige showed us that when they're done, when they're used properly, they work.
They didn't even seem to have like an airlock for when like, you know, the little catwalk walkway person that Rose fell on top of.
It was super Spartan.
Rose's sister.
It was super Spartan, super utilitarian. There were no railings, there was no comforts.
Push the button. Yeah, there was no like blue fizzy force field like they usually show on bay doors. It's just like, oh, bombs are dropping. But like, okay, what about the vacuum of space, bro? Like she wouldn't just get, you know, sucked down. Like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, let's talk about the battle for a second.
Yeah, the TIE Fighter's taking the shot instead of Kylo on his mom. I mean, that was kind of cool.
Did you notice that he deliberately hung back by the capital ship long enough to get his wingmen killed after that?
Because he went out of range. Yeah, he flew out of range.
He totally avenged her, like through.
Yeah, but he was pissed off about it when Hux told him to return because of the fact that he was out of range. He did seem like a little bit like, I don't know. Rey was right. He's very conflicted.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the force bond between Kylo and Rey? Well, that was definitely something new. There was a lot of different things. That was one of them.
Interesting. Done differently.
How do you mean?
Well, you know, they talked. I would have been nice to see what they saw. It seemed. I mean, I guess that makes sense for when we finally saw Kylo's hand in Rey's environment and stuff like that. Like, I get it, but
Our touch.
But it was was a little strange. It was hard for me to get right away. I
Yeah.
was like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh,
It's okay. So about that touches back into what Luke, before the hallucinations were starting, and then after, about the Force is the space in between the light and the darkness. The Force is what is the ether in between the atoms. So the fact that
permeates.
So them touching is a metaphor of how distance doesn't matter. Matter matters, and space is what matters, and it's the fact that they are connected because they are complete polar opposites of each other, and I think that's kind of why Luke.
I was just saying,
I think that's
together was a little strange.
Well, it's because they couldn't see each other,
They couldn't see each other. They couldn't see each other's environments, but we
Yes,
could.
because if they were gonna put each other.
Audience.
They filmed their scenes in different parts of the fucking world, and they had to fly the actors to
I
different
get it.
locations.
I
You know,
get it.
logistically it
point.
made more sense to do it the way they did it. But
The
I don't know.
point
I think part of the reason they have the bond.
is that they could hear each other. It wasn't about seeing.
They couldn't see each other. They just couldn't see their surroundings.
And how Rey was confiding in him by the end of it. She was so aggressive.
She called him a
and
monster.
and she cried
murderous
in every
scum.
scene that she saw him in.
Because
and then she was
he's her opposite. That's the
Yes.
point.
I think I think another big reason they have the connection is because he was the one she was fighting when her Force awakened. In the last movie, it was her versus Kylo in the Force, and that's where the connection really started, in my opinion.
Yeah, because she wasn't. Because he
She'll turn around. He's not wearing a shirt. She completely forgot what she was talking about.
I know. Could you put something on?
Put a towel,
Yeah.
grab a towel or something. Yeah, but at least he had I kind of appreciated that he had the high pants for some reason. I don't know. The costume choice was because we were talking about how. Well, no, it wasn't that it was space-like. It was something that we were talking
There's
about.
some Ronin
how,
pants. Look like in the samurai.
A little
Some
bit,
martial
yeah.
arts pants.
But that's why we were talking that he's a very old school knight. He's very Templar in his fighting stance, in the way he presents himself. So, his underdress would obviously be reminiscent of,
Totally.
a
Totally.
knight. And it's not Marvel, so, whatever.
The Battle of Crait itself, the visuals of the white with the red erupting from underneath. There was an overhead
Gorgeous.
shot of the skimmers going cradle lines this way, and then pockmarks of red coming down as the TIE fighters were meeting them.
How about
With the
Visually,
lasers.
beautiful.
Yeah, and then when the speeders all went off in different directions too, and then they kind of created.
When they parted up, but Finn continued forward.
Mhm.
I thought it was going to happen. For about 2 seconds there, I thought they were going to do the unthinkable and just kill out Finn.
Yeah, I thought that too.
The whole battle, there were so many points where I was like, are they going to end the movie here? Wait, is this going to be the ending? Wait, is this going to be the ending? Wait, what's going to... Wait, what?
Is it still going?
Is this... Yeah, exactly. Is this still going? Because that was kind of my overall feel. The first 3/4 of the film was amazing, but the ending was just a little lackluster.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was lackluster because just the wrong not the wrong, but I wasn't expecting a certain Skywalker to not be here anymore versus the other because of the fact that
Well,
a princess
I
isn't
expected
here.
Leia to survive the movie because they said they hadn't changed it at all.
Yeah.
And the original plan was that 7 is Han's movie, 8 is Luke's movie, and that 9 would be Leia's movie.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense for her to die in this movie. So I didn't really expect that.
So I'm curious how much of the next movie.
Yeah,
they
what
filmed.
are they gonna do? They have
If any
I
of
think
it,
they probably have
exactly.
to do something farther off in the future.
I wonder if Billy Lord's character will take some of it.
character. Well, I think she'll take part
Lieutenant
of it.
Connix will
I think
do some of the
she'll
Leia
take-
stuff instead.
I think she'll take part of the political standpoint.
Maybe.
I think she'll take more of a military, just overall position. But I don't think she'll be a replacement. Actress wise or character wise. But I think her character wise might get more of a military standpoint for sure. Yeah. Because the whole film was kind of uplifting that new generation. So in the not suppressing, but the relieving of the last generation. So Luke may not be in the films anymore. Han's passed away. Leia, we don't know what's gonna happen, but instead now we have Finn, Kylo is the template.
Oh, absolutely.
Dark
That
side.
was always the point. That was
Rey
always
is
the
the
game
template
plan.
good side.
Pave the way for the new guys.
So we have these new characters, which is going to be the next generation of storytellers.
Right.
So yeah.
Rey's parents are nobody.
Which I think is a really good one pinpoint on fuck everyone's theories.
Yeah, fuck your theories.
None of the theories were correct. Like for the most, like none. Well, okay, I can't say none, but at least 95 of the original things that we ever heard were completely.
Rey's a
Nothing-
Kenobi.
yeah.
Rey's a Palpatine.
But it
Rey
did,
and Kylo were related.
you know, but it did really touch base with the idea that it doesn't matter who your, you know, what background you come from, what your lineage is, who your parents are. You still have the opportunity to create something truly wonderful and like this, you know, legendary, heroic, if you would, future for yourself because of who you are and the people that come across your life as it is, not because of who
Not because of your
you
bloodline,
came
it's
from.
because of your inner potential.
Exactly.
Individual.
Exactly.
Speaking of individuality, there were a lot of really strong female characters in this movie, which has been a trend in the new Disney Star Wars. They introduced a bunch in the first one, but they upped the ante. They were even more so in Episode 8. You had Leia, you had Connix, you had Holdo, you had Maz Kanata. There were Tally and Rose and Rey, and even Rose's sister Paige had a hero moment. You know.
Yeah, they really went into what the definition of
There
a hero is.
were even some female First Order people.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, which I feel like I haven't ever seen in a movie before.
There were a couple First Order females in 7,
Oh yeah.
besides Phasma,
Okay.
but
Right,
also in 8.
Phasma.
No, there was like
Okay.
a couple tech workers and
Officers,
communications officers and stuff like that.
Remind me to go back to Phasma for a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I'm talking about females right now. But
I mean, Phasma.
well, sure, but like specifically,
Yeah.
one of the themes of the movie was men fucking up, and then women kind of solved the problem.
Yeah.
Like Poe completely screwed things over, and then Holdo and Leia got together and fixed his mistake. Finn was gonna get himself killed, and that wouldn't have even stopped the cannon, and then Rose rams him and gets him out of the way, saved his life. Luke is like broken by the failure of the Jedi Academy, and he takes it really hard, and
Well,
he
yeah.
won't train anyone. So Rey takes the lightsaber and is like, I'm gonna go
Well,
fucking
I'll
do it
do it.
instead.
That's
And
true.
Rey also is trying to help Kylo too, and it doesn't work out. And
She tried,
Kylo
yes,
is-
and that's in the sense where Rey
With
kind of
Luke-
fails.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
there's failure on both
I
sides.
do have to say
Kylo
one thing
felt
about
so
Luke.
stupid.
Like, the biggest thing with Luke is he was afraid to confront his sister because he felt he fucked up her child.
Yeah.
Like, can we just touch bases on that real quick? Like,
That's rough.
Luke went
That's
into
rough.
hiding because he felt that he was given his best friend and his sister's kid to train and give a future to, and he felt that he fucked up and created
Yeah.
this dark
That's
world.
got to eat away
So
your
he
conscience.
went into hiding. Like, I had to touch, you know, like, respect to that. Like, that's some hard
Which is why it
shit.
was so.
That's like, I would
Why
go
Leia
into
was the
hiding.
reason why,
No?
why
But she said,
couldn't come
but
back.
she forgave him, though. She was like,
Yeah, remember she
Kylo's
said
That's-
that when they first saw each other?
Yeah, I've changed my hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've changed my hair, meaning like
That scene was really
alright.
moving.
And she also knew. She said, "I know my son is gone," and you know, and Luke
No
was
one's
reassuring
really
to
gone.
her. You know, even though he was the one who needed reassuring.
I think he was being reassuring to the audience about Carrie Fisher that no one's really gone. No one's ever really
Oh,
gone.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And
That was a
they're
fourth wall
always-
moment. That
Yeah.
moved
There
the
were
whole
tears
lot.
from the audience. I could hear
Oh, yeah.
them
Oh, yeah, there
sniffling
were.
in that moment.
That they're always with us. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Speaking,
So those dice, the dice that he gave her in that moment, never been seen before. It's totally,
I know. I was
they
like,
totally
"Are you
bringing
sure
up
it's
this thing
all
and
you
like, hey, remember this? No.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to be prominently featured in the Han Solo story. And I don't think they're just fuzzy dice that are decorative. I'm pretty sure that there's Sabacc dice that he
It looks
used
like
to
useful
win the
dice.
game,
Yeah.
to win the Falcon from Lando. And I think we're going to see that
Yeah.
happen. That's my theory.
Because
Putting
Han
that out there.
Solo is not the fuzzy dice douche kind of guy.
No, but
when
he would be sentimental about like
the
game.
dice that he won.
The dice that
or
won him the
he
Falcon.
used to get the bird.
Sure,
Yeah,
the
for
good luck.
man.
Sure. So in conclusion, I really liked the Last Jedi. It closed the door on a lot of traditional thinking
Ideas,
notions and ideas
yeah.
about the Force and about
Yeah.
good and evil and who can be a hero.
And what being a hero means.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like we're losing anything by shutting that out. I'm just more excited about the new content that we have in the future and see where the story's going to go. Because honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen for Episode 9. They
Yeah.
didn't set anything up. anything could be going on.
Yeah.
It could be a time jump. You could jump right back into it.
Mhm.
Who knows?
So speaking of time jump, here's my quick theory.
Yeah.
Since the second half of Rebels hasn't come out yet,
Oh.
because of how heavily armored and how old the Rebel base on
Great.
Crait is,
Yeah.
what if we randomly see Crait in the last half of the last season of Rebels?
So Crait.
What
I
if they
got such a rebel feel when
establish?
you're on that.
What if-
when you're on
We've
that
already
ship,
seen-
like,
we've already seen the
Star
base.
Wars
Established.
and
So-
the old ships.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're gonna love this answer. Marvel Comics.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where
Thanks,
we've seen it.
Marvel.
There's a story in the
Thanks,
Star
Crait.
Wars, in the
Thanks,
Marvel
guys.
Star Wars, in one of the latest issues. I'm not sure if it's even finished coming out, but the arc is called Storms of Crait,
Okay.
and it's the
Oh,
rebellion.
okay.
It's Han, Luke, and Leia, and Chewie finding the base, setting it up for the first time. And the reason it's abandoned in Episode 8, as we see it, is because Scar Squad gets tipped off by a traitor to come and bail them out. I don't know who the traitor is yet, because I haven't finished reading it. But, yeah.
Thanks, Marvel. To be continued.
To be continued, and it's all canon. So there you go. That's why
Oh,
the base
okay.
is even there.
So, but
Yeah.
in the meantime, yeah, we still get the solo movie in May. We get the
Kenobi.
second half of Rebels coming out.
Yeah.
Any potential expansions that Battlefront may come out with.
That's true. They've already given us 3
So-
new story chapters, which I'll be posting videos for very soon. So stay tuned for those. And hopefully they'll be posting more of them in the future too. So it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely.
The ever-expanding universe, guys.
Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed our reaction and review to Star Wars Last Jedi. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel for more awesome Star Wars content.
Leave a comment if you have anything to say.
And don't forget to hit subscribe.
And as always, may
May
the
the Force be
with
with
you.
you.